Hey, what's up guys? It's Kara. Today I'm going to talk about my first multiple sclerosis symptoms. What was it that led up to my MS diagnosis in 2006? Well, I was 28 years old at the time and I was going to school to be a nurse, and so looking into microscopes quite a bit to try to focus on something, and I could never get these guys to focus. So I thought it was the microscope problem, and then I thought maybe I needed more coffee. I just kept looking for reasons why my eyes might be so blurry. It was just like a fog, really. And when I went finally to an ophthalmologist and filled out you do the paperwork when you first come to the doctor, and they ask if you're experiencing anything else at the time. And yeah, turns out I had also just noticed some numbness in my feet, which I was hoping was due to my shoes not fitting properly or something. But no, my feet were really quite numb, and I wrote that on the intake form, which led these nice people to kind of put two and two together and refer me to have an MRI. And at the time I didn't have health insurance, and so these doctors knew of a program to have a free MRI, and it was really lucky. I felt very blessed to have this all done, really low cost. But after the MRI, that doctor got really scared, who was looking at the MRI, and he said that he was most worried because I didn't have health insurance, and it looked a lot like multiple sclerosis, but they didn't put that in my charts at first because they wanted to make sure that I would be able to get health insurance when the time came. I was kind of I had a 30-day waiting period at my job, or it takes a little while for insurance to kick in, so it was coming. But these nice people knew that if it was in my chart before I had the insurance, then the insurance company could legally deny me coverage because I actually needed help. So anyway, I eventually did get health insurance. This is all within a matter of 2 or 3 months, maybe 2 or 3 months. I first had blurry vision, and then I noticed my numb feet. And by the time I had health insurance and went to a neurologist, I was also having this strange sensation up my spine. I believe it's called Lhermitte's syndrome, where it's like a electric shock going up your spine when it was mostly when I would look down, I think maybe up, but just when I would kind of move my head sometimes, I would get this shock up my spine. And so these three combined, in addition to an MRI that was full of scars, led to the diagnosis, but not before I had also a spinal tap, just because I wanted one. I know it's ridiculous, but yeah, I mentioned I was trying to be a nurse at the time, and I thought, oh, well, maybe I should have a spinal tap so that I would know what my patients are going through in the imaginary future where I was gonna be a nurse and be helping people who were having spinal taps. I don't know, because my neurologist, she said, Carrie, you don't need the spinal tap. You have all the qualifications for an MS diagnosis. You don't need the spinal tap. But I just wanted it. And I also kind of wanted to just make extra sure. So I also had the spinal tap, and then yeah, all these things, just kind of came together for a pretty solid MS diagnosis. And it was really terrifying, this whole process of like, especially like not having health insurance, but then ultimately I didn't want the medication, but I started out wanting the medication because I wasn't sure about, anything. It's so scary at first. It's so scary to be in that position with your symptom. I'm gonna cry. It's really a horrible feeling. And you don't know what's happening to your body. And to be honest, when I was first kind of feeling, lost my vision, and then when the numb feet came, I started to research symptoms on the internet. And I was like, what is this, what's this equal? Numb feet, blurred. And one of the possibilities was diabetes. And so I was kind of hoping that it might have been that, but it didn't seem really reasonable. But I really just kind of got myself worked up the more that I would research anything, and the more that I would just look on the internet, even about multiple sclerosis. Even after the diagnosis, I just would get more upset because everything I was reading was kind of telling me that I would probably be in a wheelchair, certainly by now, 14 years later. It just was a horrible, it was a horrible experience. And I really feel for anyone who's maybe going through a similar challenge right now. I hope that it's a painless enough process to, get the care that you need. I also want to say that it's possible to do all this without health insurance. Do all this meaning, go to the neighborhood clinics, community clinics. They can check out your eyes, and then they can refer you to, another clinic, health clinic. Don't be scared to get checked out if you don't have health insurance, because even if you get to a point where maybe you need then MS medication, or maybe you want to take that route, every drug company has a program for people who need financial help. I've pretty much every step of the way in my MS diagnosis, I was really needed financial aid. I still could use help, but especially then. So don't be scared to get checked out, even if you don't have health insurance. There's ways to get care, and even hospitals will have like a financial aid sort of application, and then if you qualify, and I always qualified. I don't know if that's something to be proud of, but I always qualified for financial aid. I had just like a scholarship to go to the hospital for 3 months. So that's when I had a second MRI for the neurologist to just check things out again. So it truly started out with my eyes, and then a little bit later came the numbness, and then came this Lhermitte syndrome. And those were the top 3 before it started to get pretty interesting again. And for me, the heat made everything really worse, a lot worse. So it was the summertime when I was kind of first having these symptoms, and it was really bad. But it would definitely get worse when it was really hot outside, or after I would have a hot shower. Maybe I would be fine going into the shower, my legs worked, I could walk, but then I couldn't really stand up anymore after, a couple minutes in the shower. It was a hot. I like it hot. But anyway, it's a really scary process to go through. Start to cry. It's really scary and traumatizing, and I feel for you. I really do. I really do. But you can do it. I did it. Live to tell the tale. Anyway, all my love. I hope that you're hanging in there. Peace.